equal to. Okay, all right then. So we just remove this step and follow the suggestion that was given yesterday. So there are so many ways. I know, I'm sure we've touched on the different methods to uh, create new, to add a new column to a table, especially if it is not something you can just do by click of mouse. Like yesterday, Mr. Tolu made mention of us using a conditional column. Yes, that's one of the ways, one of the methods we can use to create an additional column, you know. And there are several methods, and I'm sure that we've looked at all the methods. So we'll just look at one or two of the methods. So we'll pick anyone that is very convenient for us. But I just want us to look at the various ways, we can do that. It's just, you just have to be flexible about it. That's just the idea. So let's look at the first method. Like Mr. Tolu suggested, conditional column. So as we want to go via the route of conditional column, we can just come here, want to create a conditional column, So we call it okay, let me call it new column for now. New custom. We might change it later, but by the time we agree on which one to use, we'll change the column name. Now, we want to create a column that has 6 as values in all the cells, in the column. So I don't know. Let me just ask for. I just want people's idea. So who has an idea of how to go about this? How we can create a new column using a conditional column that has 6 as values in all the cells in the new column. You don't have to be right, really. Let's just hear out, her idea so that we can all look at it and, consider it, correct it, and all, so that we all get to learn. I think that's a better form of learning. We want to create a new column now. And the new column name, we've given it a name. We want everything to be 6. We want everything to be 6. And don't forget that. Now, there are different ways to do it, but we are just going to look at a simple way. Let's look at any column as our reference now. Because we have to say if column is equals to this, then do this. That's the value. That's the procedure. So we can just say, okay, I want everything to be 6 in that column. I can say, let me close this. I can use any column here to do it. I can say, okay, let me look at this column here. Let me use this as my reference column. I'm just saying, you can use any column as your reference column. But because these other columns, okay, this column doesn't have, what's it called? Null. I can just check here. What are the values here? I think they should be 2. I think it should be retail and, come on, it should be retail and corporate, It should be retail and corporate, right? So I can say, okay, let me do this. If the customer type is retail and corporate, give it 6. Let the output be 6. All we want to do is just to create a new column by using conditional column. Let me call it total number of months, or months count. Let me say months count. I can say if the customer type is equals to retailer, retail is retail. I think it's retail. Then the output should be 6. And if it's not equals to retail, let it be 6. We know there are 2 there. They are retail and corporate. If the customer type is retail, let the output be 6. And if it's not retail, let it be 6. So that means we are going to have 6 everywhere, because It's going to create a new column that's going to give 6 to all the values there. You can see everything is 6. So it's just about you knowing how to manipulate, the data set, the conditions to suit what you want. Someone can just say, okay, what I want, that's my own line of thoughts. Someone else's line of thought might be, okay, I want to use this count, what's it called? This count column as my conditional column. We have 0 to 6 there, right? As the values there. Those are the values here. Someone might say, okay, or someone's thought might be, okay, this thing is still, conditional column. Someone's thought might be, let me call this one 2 now. Month count 2 now is a new column name. Someone can say if the count value is greater than or equals to 0. I mean, we're talking of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till, as it goes on and on like that, let it be 6. Else, even if it's not that, let it still be 6. Whatever you find there, let it be 6. So you come here, we've done this. I'm just trying to say that there are things we've really done in the class, but it's not left for us to know how to apply them to suit our. You can see we have everything at 6. That is using conditional columns. Conditional column, you can see if you come here, everything, because we said if your value is 0 or greater than 0, make everything 6. That means apparently everything here is 0 and greater than 0. That means every value will be 6. We have also achieved that same thing we want to do. And someone might want to say, I want to use custom column. Custom column. That means we are not using any condition now. You want to create a custom column because there is no button to click here to give you 6. You don't want to use the if condition. Now it can be month count 3. I'm giving it another name. You see the same thing you want to do. The new column name is this now. Add a column that is computed from the other columns. Yes, from other columns. Or it's a custom column. You customize it. This is my month count. This is the column name. What should it be there? Equals to 6. I want everything to be 6. You click on OK. The month count name, you can see everything is 6. Just showing us different methods. You can arrive at that 6. Someone might want to then, remember again, we did something like columns from examples again in class. Do you remember when we were trying to do something at yahoo.com? We just put some examples there, You can say, okay, create an example from all columns. Doesn't matter. It comes here. Now, we want to make an example. Don't forget that when we were in class, we said that you need to put some numbers or some values in this column. And when Power Query recognizes or cites a pattern, it cites a pattern, it just completes the rest of the column for you, following the pattern which you have set for the column. This is what I mean. Now, I want 6 to be everywhere here. Right? I come here, I put 6 here. Power Queries notice that I've put 6 here. I come somewhere else, again, you see, that's why they put 6 everywhere. Because I put 6 there. Normally, you should have waited for me to put 6 somewhere else. But you notice that, okay, I've put 6 here. Do you want to put 6 everywhere here? It has suggested for me. Column from example. I give it an example. I put 6 here. He now thought, okay, is this guy trying to put 6 everywhere? He now put it everywhere for me. So if I didn't want that, I just said, no, I don't want 6 everywhere. I put 8 here now. You can see that it's getting confused now. It's putting 7, 8. So you'll be putting different values there. If I put 6 here again, just trying some stuffs, this is 6, 6. And I put 7 here. I'm just trying to see to tell you that how, you see, he's trying to suggest he has removed 7. He has put 6 up here. He has put 8 up here. From from example, it's trying to guess what you're trying to do. You know, that's how that works. You put some values in the column, you know, it starts looking at the pattern you're inputting, it starts guessing values for you. So I can change this back to 6. Since I want everything to be 6, you know, the one that is assigned 8, 6, you know. When I change back to 6, it changed everything to 6 again. That okay, this guy really wants 6 to be everywhere. And once you think, oh, he has done that for you, just click on OK. You can see that, and that's it. That is columns from example. So it creates it puts values in it what's it called in the cells in a column based on the example you've given it. You know, so you can see that we have achieved the same method using like 4 different matters, and I'm sure that we've looked at any of these tools in class. So it's just for us to know how and when to put them to use, you know. So that just is basically. I just thought to show us that. So we can stick with anyone, you know, so we can remove this. We don't have to use everything. I've removed this. Maybe we should go with the first one since the conditional column. Since all we want to achieve is just to have 6 everywhere. So and this does it. But the worry here is that if I use this now, if I use this conditional column now, the worry here, if I use this one now, and later I remove the customer type column, you know, there's going to be problems because I've already referenced this customer type in this formula, and I might not need this customer type in my later analysis. And I might have forgotten that I've already used that column to create a column, you know, as condition. So that's why I'm not going to stick with this because I might most likely remove this customer type column later. So I think the best thing in this case is to go with custom column equals to 6. And I assume you all agree with me on that based on the reason I've just given now, you know. So let's do custom column. You know, it's not linked to any column. It just is a standalone formula. So month count, and let's do equals to 6. Chicken now. So it's not, I can remove any column from anywhere I want, you know. There's no linkage to any column in the table. I think it's the best way to do it. So let's just allow, okay, that is it, month count. So this is the number of months now we have. So let's just put an information here, you know. This column represents the number, the total number of months under consideration. Okay. So someone will know why we added that column as nicely suggested by Mr. Ayo yesterday, you know. So anybody that just hovers the mouse over this, you know, will know the reason why we added that custom column. So now proceeding from here, this, like we said, this column is sufficient for our data sub, but it's not sufficient for our bonus used, you know. So we need to create a new column and say this minus this minus this, month count minus count to create a new column. So I'm going to come here because I'm doing this minus this. So you have to select them in the order you want that action to take place. If you select this first, followed by this, it will do 4 minus 6. So we don't want 4 minus 6. We want 6 minus 4. So we select this first, you know, hold down your control and select this next. So standard, subtract. That's the procedure. Select the first one, then the next one, especially when the sequence matters. You know, if you are adding, the sequence doesn't matter assuming we were to add the two columns, you can select either column first. But because we are subtracting and we don't want a negative value, that means the sequence matters. So we have to just like when you are dividing as well, the sequence matters. When you are multiplying, the sequence doesn't matter. So we have to put that in mind. So this is good for this column is good for our unused bonus, and this is good for our, what's it called? For our data use. So we can just rename this, just so that we know count for, okay, count for data sub. We are going to use this as count for data sub, and we are going to use this subtraction, as our count for unused bonus. Now, these are count for unused bonus now. This is 2. That means from here, what we can do now is we need to have a column now that we need to have just singular column. We created this column because this singular column was not sufficient, to meet the conditions we are looking for. So that was why we had to create an extra column, which we've done, Now what we can do now is we want this, since this is our count for use bonus, So let's change this, so that we don't, since we agree that what we need is unused bonus now, right? So let's try and see if we can change this name to unused bonus, because we don't need the use bonus. Whatever. This is just what's it called, semantics. If I can put it that way, we can actually change this to unused bonus, so that we will know that we are going to, because with this used bonus, we are going to be using, that means this value here, this value here is important if you are considering use bonus. But because this value here is not important, this is what that is important on use bonus. That means we can just change this name to unused bonus, so that we will know that, okay, we'll be using this unused bonus with that new column we created. Let me do it so that you understand what I'm talking about. So so that you'll be sure of the exact way, the exact capitalization used. You better you just come here, select it, it will show here, and copy it. So you know that you're not making mistakes, you are copying exactly what you have there. So do Control C, Control C. So we have it copied somewhere now. So I have to select, I want to make the change in this column. I have to select this attribute column, right click and do change replace value. I want to replace value in this column. I click on the replace value. And replacing what to find. I can do my Control V now, what I copied, I'm replacing it with what? I want it to be called unused bonus now. Unused bonus. And I click on OK. So it changed everywhere it finds used bonus. It changes it to unused bonus. So let's just wait for that to happen. You can see. So it has been changed to unused bonus now. So we have our data sub and an unused bonus. So we need a column now. We can create a column that will merge the two together. This is what I mean. Our total count now. Our total counts. Okay, let's create a new column now. A conditional column again. We are going to say create a conditional column now. A conditional column. We want a column we want a singular column for data sub and unused bonus, so that when we look at that column, we are seeing the first value there is data sub. The second
Hello,
value
sir.
here
Why did you have to change it?
okay. By the time I complete this next step, I think maybe we all realize why I needed to change it. So let me complete this next step. Then
Okay.
if you still have that question, then we'll answer it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So You need a singular column now that can combine what's it called? Combine both count of data sub and unused bonus together in just one column. We don't want it separated. In that case, we can use our conditional column again. We can say, okay, we create a column. Come here and check attribute. If the attribute you can find is data sub, what should you do? Go and pick the value you see under count for data sub. But if you check that column, what you find is unused bonus. Just go to that row and pick the value for count of unused bonus instead. So if you get to that row, if you get to attribute, you find data sub as the value there. Pick this value. If you find unused bonus, pick this value. If you find data sub, pick this value. If you find unused bonus, pick this value. If you find data sub, pick this value. That means it's not going to use this at all, because definitely we don't need this mod count, and we are not going to use this at all. This one for count of used bonus. So let's do that. Then you understand better what I'm trying to say. To create a conditional column, just select any column you like. You don't have to be specific. Just make sure that any column is selected in the table. Go to conditional column and call it now our let me say total count now. I hope this is total count. I hope I'm not going to count again. Total count now. Now, what you need to do? We want to create a new column called our total count. And what do we want it to do? I want it to go to the attributes column. Don't forget, in attribute we have data sub and unused bonus. Data sub and unused bonus. Those are the two values in the attribute. So it will go there and check each cell one after the other. Go there. If what you find there is equals to, we have to spell it exactly the way it is. That means I have to go back. I have to cancel this and check exactly the way it is. Okay, data subs. Okay. Let's do that again. Conditional column, total count. Now, if the attribute you can find here is equals to data subs, what value should you use? Go and pick the value in which column. Go and pick in the value in the column for you come here, you enter this, you come here and say select a column. Go and pick the value in which column. It will pop up now. Okay, it won't pop up. I have to select again. Go and come on, it should pop up. Or should it really be here? Let's check here. No. Or maybe my system is slow. Let's see. Oh, okay. Go and pick a value. Where? My system was just slow. Count for data sub. So this way I clicked. It was just slow. You click here, select column. I think it's just a bit slow. Then you drop this down. Count for data sub. Pick this value. But add a clause. But if the attribute you can find is equals to unused bonus, the exact way it is, unused bonus. Who knows what I should put here? Who knows what?
Count for unused bonus.
Yes. You select a column. Something is blocking my view here. Sorry, just a minute. I want to hide. Okay. Count for unused bonus. So that's what we're trying to do. So when you click on OK, we don't have to put else. Or You might just put 0 in case there's a mistake. Else you can't find anything, but I'm sure it's going to, these are the two values there. It's not going to have anything, but just for formality sakes, okay, if you can't find anything, just put 0. That means if you cannot find data sub in that attribute, you cannot find unused bonus here, then put 0. It's always good in case there's a third, there's a third value here that you have forgotten, you don't know about, but in our case, that's not the case. But in case it's a very large data set and there are more than just two variables there or two constants, the two constants are more than, it's not just data subs and unused bonus. Probably you have like 10 or 20 things stuffs there, You might want to say, okay, let me just put 0. So whenever I see 0, I know, oh, that means which value is returning 0. I can go and just troubleshoot, that's what this one could serve, at this point. But I don't think we are going to have any 0 as a return, in this case. So you can see now that we have our 4 for data used. We have a single column now representing 1 for data used, 1 for unused bonus, 6 for data used. He picked this 6 for data use, and he picked 1 for unused bonus for here. For this one, account number, don't forget the account number that are in twos. For this data use, data sub, bonus used, data sub, bonus used, data sub, bonus used. And it goes on and on and on like that until we get to the end of it. So the reason why we put unused bonus, I don't know, is it clear? Because we are considering unused bonus now. The question here says, how many times did not use bonus at all in less than 4 months? How many
Sorry,
times?
Mr. Jide.
Please go ahead.
For the total count, the column we just created, can we rename it to total count for used data sub and used bonus so that it will be clear, because someone looking at it may not understand what that total count is.
Okay, we can do that. Total count for data sub and unused bonus. So enter.
Sorry. Also,
okay.
Can we also move the column for the attributes closer to it, if it's possible?
Attributes closer to it.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we are still going to delete all these ones. So they will still be close. We know we don't need all this again. We only need the count. So by the time we delete all this month now, at the end of the day, we only need the account number and the count. Do you understand? We only need to count for each account number. Okay, how many times did this account number sub? How many times did the account number don't use bonus? So at the end of the day, when we delete all these months here, we will not, so they will still be close to each other. Do you understand?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. So I think I don't know if Rita still wants, I don't know if you have your question answered now.
Yeah.
Hello, Rita?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, at the end I know it counted and did not and
Sorry?
identified what is so. At the end I know it identified the data sub and unused.
Yes.
But from the start to that point in between now, it's still shady. But maybe when I go back to the recording, maybe it will make better sense.
Yes. I want to believe so as well. Yes. I want to believe so. Then, but if it doesn't make sense, you can always come back tomorrow and look at it together.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. I think it's a good place to stop so we don't get overloaded. Thank you all. I don't know if any other person has questions as regards to what we did today. Okay. In the absence of none, Mr. Tolu, over to you.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Professor Jide. It's been a wonderful class. I gained one or two things as well. So, and I hope everyone has gained something as well. So tomorrow is another day. Hopefully, Sister Debbie will be here. So have a wonderful night, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you,
bye.
Prof.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Associate Professor Tolu.
I'm still training.
As
Thank
Professor
you.
in embryo.
I know, bro.
Yeah, so
Thank
I
you.
was in the middle of a meeting. I couldn't comprehend. I'm still at work. I hope I'll rely on the video.
Yes, Sister Debbie will upload it.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Professor. All right then. Bye-bye, guys.
Okay, good night. Thank you. Yeah, bye. Yeah, bye.